Hey everyone! So it's a random Friday, the 11th of October, and Dream Theater just decided to drop a random single on us. So I was just checking my phone in the middle of the night and I saw that this dropped. Had to set up everything, like the sun's not even out yet. It's quite early here in Australia. So it looks like they're releasing a whole new album in February in 2025. And this one's a little bit special because this marks the first time that they've released music under the label Dream Theater with the original drummer Mike Portnoy back in the fold. But we're going to have a listen and a watch of the new video, see what they've been cooking, and see what Dream Theater sounds like now that the original drummer is back. I've also got my Majesty guitar right here. And we'll see what little insights we can get from our first listen. Alright, let's jump into it. Is that a new Majesty? Very cool vibes. There he is. Alright, let's see what that is. Okay, so that little variation there, I think was... Ah, I love those little power chords. So simple, but so good. So, what would that be? Something like that. A little variation there. Sounded like some pretty straightforward drumming. Okay, there we go. A little bit of a cool fill. I want to listen to that again. One thing I will say that I can already hear the difference in the modern Dream Theater sound is that while Mike Mangini had some super technical parts and he was a really, really amazing drummer, sometimes you just want this straightforward metal beat. Especially when it picks up here. It just works. Okay, so I think this riff goes. I like Petrucci's guitar tone as well. Do I detect less scooping than usual? Another amazing thing that I'm hearing, it might change, but I felt like in the last few Dream Theater albums, they've overprocessed Labríe's vocals so much where it's just like every single thing he sings is covered in delay and I don't know, flanger or something like that. It just seems like a stylistic choice rather than them like covering up as singing or anything. But for me personally, I just didn't enjoy it as much as the older albums where it was like almost dry straight in through the earphones. It's so much clearer and it sounds like him. I just got a glimpse there. He actually does move to the 11th fret after the 15th. Something like that. Simple, but that like little pickup in the groove just helps keep the song fresh. Oh, look at those pickup covers. I wonder if that's going to be like a new Majesty model. Ah, right, that was Portnoy singing as well. Okay, we got that intro riff again. Ooh, a little Jordan break. Okay, that sounded like the highest note I've heard from him so far in the song. So that's an A4, which is decently hard to hit. So it sounds like they've definitely kept him in that like middle range of his rather than going for the super high stuff, which at his age honestly works. You know, it's something I read online a lot where people say that he should stick to his strong suit, which at this age is that middle area, like B4 downwards. Is that a B4? Yeah, B4 downwards, just below the C5. It's very hard for a man to hit. And to be honest, I feel like on all of the recent albums, maybe like post 2010, he rarely does go above that. Like, I'm pretty sure Distance Over Time, The Astonishing, and View from the Top of the World, like, they maybe had some C's in there or maybe higher as a harmony, but the main vocal line never really went above somewhere there. But yeah, no, good use of his range. Okay, first chorus is done. The chorus itself was cool. It just felt disjointed from the verse and the whole post-verse pre-chorus little bit that Jordan did. Now obviously, their song, their vision, that's fine, but I kind of would have hoped or thought there would have been a better, more music theory-backed sort of progression from the way that the haunting kind of metal sound of the verse to the very melodic chorus there. Now maybe there's some symbolism in an abrupt change, I don't know, but yeah, just first thoughts while listening to it. Oh, what the hell is this? I'm still processing. Oh, that's cool. I hate and love that at the same time. I'm gonna love that once I get used to it. Dude, Labrie sounds really good. And the harmonies, I've missed those. Like even Labrie with himself. I feel like I didn't get that much on the last couple of albums. This feels like anticlimactic from everything we've just heard so far. It's a cool chorus by itself, but I almost feel like it doesn't work in this song. Classic Dream Theater right there. That's good. We didn't go for the 2-chorus loop. Okay. I didn't see the song line. How long of an instrumental section am I in for? This is very reminiscent of their more modern singles like Untethered Angel, although I will say I prefer the pace in that for the instrumental section, but it's good. Oh, that's right out of his solo album. Boy, this is gonna be fun to cover if I do cover it. Like those little open strings ringing out there. That's cool. Look at that majesty. Ooh. Petrucci's not a big sweep though. It's nice to see some in there. Nothing that like the more rolled sweeps. Nice. Ooh, that's good. Okay, back to the chorus. Key change. Okay, seems like we're going for a simpler song. Shorter. I think it's just gonna end soon. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Look, the boys are back. That was solid. Oh, anything else? So it wasn't anything super out of the ordinary. There were some cool bits, but that was 100% post-2010 Dream Theater, with some drumming from 2009 Dream Theater. The production and the way they handled some things, like I mentioned the vocals, but also the overall sound, I think the volume levels of the drums and the guitar tone, they're definitely more what I like to hear from the band compared to something like A View from the Top of the World, which I didn't particularly enjoy the sound of as much as their other albums. But sonically, there isn't anything here that we haven't heard from them before. And that's not a bad thing. Like, these guys and, maybe Avenged Sevenfold are my favorite bands of all time. If they just continue to release the same caliber of music over and over again, I'm still going to be there for it. But I can absolutely see this as a recurring criticism if the rest of the album's like the song. Now, the other thing to be said is they always release a similar style of song for their single every time. Like, The Enemy Inside was their catchier hit, so was Untethered Angel. I suppose The Alien was a bit more prog, but still, those catchier songs don't end up being like the sound of the overall album. They've got like a very, scripted and set position. They do the same things. They are way more for the radio rock kind of crowd than anything else. Surprisingly enough, I think this was just E standard on a 6-string. Like, I could pick up and play the first riff just on this guitar. So we'll see. It might throw a curveball because when we first heard The Alien, it wasn't really anything like the rest of that album. So compared to some of their other more modern, like, radio-friendly hits, I'll say that this song is much better than something like Invisible Monster or Room 137. I didn't really like those, and I was glad that, the albums that they were on didn't all sound like those songs. And I did spy on the track list. I'd forgotten what the song length of this one was, but when I saw their post, I did see that there was a 19-minute 40 kind of song to end it off. So we get another epic on this coming album, which is great. I'm just very curious to see what they do with it, because, like I've been saying, we've seen so many albums by this band before. We know what they tend to write. Like, we know their style. Can they still bring things that are fresh and new, especially to justify a nearly 20-minute experience? Like, A Change of Seasons, absolutely warranted to be 20 minutes. Octavarium, fully justified. I think both the In the Presence of Enemies Together, being at like 25-minute total or whatever it is, makes sense. There's enough music and content in those songs to make it there. I also think Illumination Theory did a great job of that too, but it wasn't on the same level as the ones I just mentioned. And then coming to their more recent album, me personally, A View from the Top of the World was a 20-minute stapling together of like 3 or 4 different songs. Like, it's all fun to listen to, but it doesn't feel like a big grand epic, and I feel like it ended really disappointingly, I suppose. And then I did read that, like, based on the lyrics and the story, it was kind of meant to be that, you reach the peak and then you find out there's another peak right behind it. So the way they kind of built up to something grand and didn't fully flesh it out and kind of just fade it out, it made perfect sense. But also, it's one thing to do it for the lyrics, but I just didn't think the song was as good as it could have been. So we'll see. Like, look, I know people might want to jump on this video and just hear me saying nothing but positive things. And this group is one of my favorite bands ever, so of course I just want to sit here and say the positive things. But the critical side of me does have some thoughts that, while I can express some doubts or some criticism, it doesn't mean like I'm hating on the band, or I'm not looking forward to what they're going to put out, or that I'm implying that there isn't like mastery in all of this, like even in this song and the last album and everything. Like, but here's the point: we've had like, what is it, their 40th anniversary tour coming up? We've had 40 years of them being masters at their craft. Like, we're spoiled. We know that they can be great. We know that they can compose really well, and they're all amazing at their instruments. So at this point, it's like, what can you do that's fresh and new and exciting? Because we know that you could impress us. Like, in terms of everything else, technicality, production, all the other fun stuff. Alright, so that was my reaction to the new song. Thank you very much for watching till the end. And I'm going to go back through and see if I can break down the solo. So, I'm really putting myself on the spot here, because if this goes live and I didn't manage to break down the solo, I'm going to look like quite the fool. But, stay tuned. Hopefully that video will be up shortly. Cheers. Bye.